afternoon, everyone. I am GoLocal Live contributor Chelsea Gay here in the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center with our weekly Thursday segment of what is happening in Rhode Island. And my first guest is Kristen Adamo from the Providence Warwick Convention and Visitors Bureau, which is sort of the hub of what is happening in Rhode Island. So not a very fitting guest for
We like to think we're the
segment.
hub. So.
Yeah, I know. Well, you're always, I mean, you guys have all the events, all the know-how of everything that's happening in the city. So it's great to have you on the show and great to meet you. And
Thank you. It's nice to meet you too.
So you've had a couple of exciting things happen, yesterday being your 2018 annual meeting.
Yes.
So we want to talk a little bit about what the CVB is for those people who may not know. It's probably right in their backyard, and it's a great resource. But tell our viewers a little bit about the CVB and sort of what you provide to the state.
Sure. Well, the CVB, you might know us under our name Go Providence. We operate a website called goprovidence.com, and we have 3 social media channels that are very active. But it's not a big deal if you don't know who we are, because the bulk of what we do is outside of Rhode Island, because we're trying to get people to come into Rhode Island. So what we do is we run the Rhode Island Sports Commission, so we work on sporting events from March Madness to massive hockey tournaments. We promote meetings and conventions for Providence and Warwick, and we have a sales team that brings them in. And then we also do marketing for Providence as a leisure destination.
Great. So yesterday, as we said, you had your annual meeting, and so sort of a year in review of the accomplishments and deliverables from the CVB. So tell me a little bit about what's going on in that regard.
Sure.
And some of the trends that you're seeing in tourism in the state.
So one of the things that we do is we do a little recap at our annual meeting, and luckily we had a lot of good news to report. We had a really great year last year. Our fiscal year runs from July to June, so it was July of 17 to June of 18, and occupancy was the highest that anyone who works there can remember. We ended the year at 74.2% occupancy, which is amazing. And then the bulk of the work that we do to bring revenue into Rhode Island is with our meetings and conventions and sporting events. So the things that we booked that actually happened in that fiscal year had a direct spend impact of $73.6 million. Wow. So it was a great year for hotels, it was a great year for taxpayers, and it was a great year for us.
So what do you think caused that spike in occupancy? What did we bring? What did you guys bring to Rhode Island that really helped push those numbers up?
Well, we do a lot of the events that we do are larger events that you might not even hear of because they are scientific societies and nursing societies. So it's things that are really important, but you might not hear a lot about. But then there's also massive sporting events. We have hockey tournaments that take every sheet of ice in the entire state and even go into Massachusetts. The convention center and the Dunk, we do cheerleading events. And then, you know, we do some high-profile things. We just had Comic-Con in. Yes. So it all kind of mixes together, the stuff you hear about, the stuff maybe you don't hear about, but it's all filling our hotels and the convention center and our restaurants, and that's what we like.
And so 78% occupancy, there's 8, I think, new hotels.
It was 74.
Sorry about that.
That's okay, 74.2%, which is abnormally high.
Yeah.
And that's
a great number for
right, and you're right, we do have 8 hotel projects in development. So that means things are good and people want to get in on it. So we're really happy about that.
I mean, it went up to 74%.
Yep.
Are we thinking it's going to continue exponentially? Is that why these hotels are cropping up? Do you think the occupancy now will start to subside because of the
anytime you have a larger market, you're going to see a little fluctuation in occupancy. So the other number that we will be tracking more closely now with the new because that first year you're going to keep getting hotels on the books, and then you're comparing them to next year last year when they weren't open. So we'll start looking at demand. Is there still a demand for rooms in Providence?
Gotcha.
So far so good. And what's great about the new hotels, it's products that we don't have a lot of. Okay. So like extended stay, like the Residence Inn that's across the street from the convention center, we don't have a lot of that, or those cool little boutique hotels. So it gives us new tools in our toolbox as we're marketing the city.
Excellent. So like you said, you know, we're getting some new options. Do you think now, after these 8 hotels go up, we've kind of got everything we need, a kind of a hotel for every different demographic? Is there still going to be room now for anything else?
Well, there are people much smarter than me that figure these things out, and those are people who are looking at, will it be profitable to open a hotel in Providence? And right now there's 8 people that think, yes, there is.
Absolutely.
So we leave that to them. And then, you know, if they do build more hotels, it's our mission to market them. And luckily, this destination has so much to offer.
Yeah.
Leisure visitors, meeting conventions, sporting events. So we're in pretty good shape.
So now, do the increase in hotels allow for you guys to go after additional conferences and business? Is that the plan, to continue to utilize the space?
Well, you can use the space in a lot of ways. So we'll go after more leisure travelers because there's a lot of fun things to do in Providence. The colleges and universities are a draw for hotels. The convention center size is what it is. So, you know, we can't go too much bigger with meetings and conventions unless we want to start using some off-site venues. But there's plenty of opportunity.
Great. And speaking of things to do in Rhode Island, can you give us some insight into Rhode Island winter tourism?
Sure.
Where do you see tourism in the winter? What kind of events do we have coming up to draw tourism in? Can you give us a little?
Well, I think there's a misnomer that you don't want to be in Rhode Island in the winter because it's cold and it's snowy, but there's so many. It is, but that's fun.
Yeah,
we have the ice bumper cars at Alex and Ani. The zoo is still open. We have Trinity Rep.
Yeah.
We have plenty of fun things to do for kids. We're going to have the Providence Children's Film Festival. We've got restaurant weeks in January.
Yeah.
So there's still a lot of activities to do. And this year, we're going to really focus on that family market for those people who maybe can't afford to fly to Disney in February or don't want to because of the lines and the crowds.
Sure.
We're going to go after those people that want to get away for a couple days with their kids, and we're working on building packages for families and it's an affordable time in the city.
And so, you know, there is arguably a lot of construction going on in Providence, and maybe, you know, the street conditions and graffiti conditions aren't completely up to par with, you know, some travel destinations. Do you think there's room for improvement in the city? Or?
You know, cities are cities, and actually I don't think we're that bad. When you go to some of the, I mean, look at, you know, sometimes Boston, or I remember I was in Minneapolis the summer before last, and they were like digging up the entire downtown. So those things happen, and that's the course of doing business. So I don't see it as too big a problem. You know, especially here downtown, we've got that wonderful downtown improvement district, the Yellow Jackets, that make sure it's beautiful and clean and safe. So when we go out to compete with other destinations, we actually have some really big advantages.
Yeah, absolutely. I always see them out. I mean, the flowers they put and the effort that they put into the city is really spectacular. So that's awesome. And speaking of the event last night, the annual meeting, and all these great statistics, you guys also do an awards segment. Which is pretty fabulous, and we were just talking about it before the show. So tell us a little bit about the Rose Awards.
Sure.
And what that means.
So Rose Award stands for Recognition of Service Excellence. And what I love about it, it's not about the people that you might read about in the newspaper or see on shows like this. It's about the people that day in and day out make our industry important and make it great. So it's our servers, our bartenders, our housekeepers, and the hotels, restaurants, attractions will write in and nominate people for those awards, and they actually come and receive their award. And it's actually really great to see a whole wide, diverse group of people that maybe don't get honored as much as they should.
And so they get the recognition for the year of their great service. I bet that's a really great motivator.
It's so fun to watch. After the ceremony, people bring their families or with their coworkers, and they take pictures with their awards, and I saw them all on Instagram last night. So it's just a really, really fun, special event. Yeah.
Is there anywhere people can go to see the award winners?
We are actually in the process of putting them up right now on our Facebook page. And Rhode Island Monthly is doing a nice spread for us in the January issue, so you'll be able to see a lot of it.
And you guys chose the Roger Williams Park Zoo as your partner of the year.
Yeah, it was important for us, I think, to recognize the zoo, not only for the stuff that everybody knows about, which is that it's a great place for kids and it's really fun to bring your family and it's a great attraction. They do a lot of education efforts. They do a lot of conservation. There's just so much more to the zoo than maybe people know about, and we thought it was really important to shine that spotlight.
And any other, you know, notable awardees?
Sure, we had a couple. One definitely is Larry Lepore, who is the first person to ever manage both the Dunkin' Donuts Center and the Convention Center.
Awesome.
Those are two of our closest partners. So, and Larry has just been a huge support in everything we do, and he's helped grow some amazing events like Comic-Con. So we thought it was important to honor him as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so you guys are a great resource too to businesses and individuals who are, looking for assistance with, the venues and the hotels here, hospitality, and also just things to do. So
yeah, I mean,
talk a little bit about yourselves as a resource.
Sure. So I think we can help out in a couple ways. One is GoProvidence.com is a really comprehensive website. We have calendar listings. We have guides to restaurants. We have guides to hotels, attractions. You can even book tickets to things. You can say, I want a gondola ride, and then I want to go to the zoo, and you can buy it all at once on our website, which is really cool. So we do all of that. And then if you want to host a meeting or convention, we can help you with that. Everybody belongs to something. It could be a softball team. It could be a professional organization. If you want to bring it to Rhode Island, we're the people to help you.
Awesome. And so what would you say are the biggest initiatives that you have, for the next annual meeting? Where do you guys want to be at that point?
There's a few things that we're working on. On the meeting and convention side, we feel like all of the economic development work that's being done is an opportunity for us. The Wexford Innovation Center will bring in a lot of new clients and hopefully help us attract some of those kind of entrepreneurial and sort of tech conferences. The nursing center, nursing groups are really lucrative for cities, so those are really cool on that side. Then on the leisure side, we are hosting the American Home Brewers Association next year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So those are people all about beer, so we're doing a lot of work about craft beer. I know that's a really rough job,
well, I know,
and I'm sorry that it's mine.
Rhode Island right now.
Exactly.
There are tons of different breweries popping up everywhere here.
So you'll see more of us promoting that. Another thing that I'm really passionate about is wellness tourism. We're going to start doing some stuff with all the new outdoor stuff we have, whether it's Providence Kayak or some of the bike trails and all of that. So those are kind of bigger priorities for the coming year.
Great. And so I have to ask, in the winter, what is your kind of favorite Rhode Island activity? What do you like to do?
My favorite Rhode Island activity
over here.
What's really fun is the RISD Museum has some really cool exhibits that maybe people don't know about. They do a lot with fashion, with jewelry. I think they're doing one now on like the drag persona and like don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. So I think that people forget it's in their own backyard, and I think people forget that it's more than, the Buddha's great. We all went there for a field trip.
The beautiful big Buddha.
But there's a lot of things to do. Yeah. But it's it's nice and warm, and there's lots to do there.
Yeah, and I would be remiss if I didn't ask. What we always want to talk about. What's happening? What is happening this weekend for people to do?
It's the big
Gondola National.
Yes, the Gondolympics, which we're super excited about. Go Providence!
Cool.
And it's also the Veterans Day Waterfire, which is really special and really honors people who've
and that's
served.
Honoring veterans. And
absolutely.
Is there anything special happening at that event?
I believe there is. I believe there's a procession of veterans all the way from World War II to recent activity. So it's a really great way to honor people. And water fire, I personally love the fall water fires. It's kind of more cozy, and so it's a really fun thing to do this weekend.
Actually has a purpose.
Now
we're getting more. Even though you're not really too close to it. Get on a gondola. There you go.
There you go.
Then you're closer to the fire.
I think we know a guy. You can get on a gondola.
We'll be talking to him next. Well, Kristen, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Congratulations on an awesome year.
Thank you.
We look forward to having you on next year to talk about what's going on in that after that annual meeting.
Great. It would be my pleasure.
Appreciate you coming on the show. And as we said, we'll be right back with Marcello Haynes from Providence Kayak and La Gondola. We're going to talk about the Gondolympics.
The Gondolympics.
2018 Gondola National. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. Welcome back to the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. I am GoLocal Live contributor Chelsea Gay. Our second guest today, as discussed, we actually talked about you guys in our last segment, so sorry if you felt your ears ringing. Marcello Haynes and Ruffino. That's it, Ruffino.
That's my one name.
Marcello is from Providence Kayak in Lagonda. You guys have probably seen him on the show before. He's maybe like a regular. We've had you on a couple times.
Close enough.
So, yeah, close enough. And Ruffino is actually joining us from California. He is one of the competitors in this weekend's 2018 U.S. Gondola Nationals, or Gondolympics, I think. That was what Kristen was calling it. So
originally, it was the first time we had it. We called it the Gondolympics for lack of a better term.
So not the gondola. No, we got a formal.
So we renamed it U.S. Gondola Nationals.
Okay, and so for those who may not know, we're having a pretty big event in the gondola world in Providence this weekend.
Right.
In the Providence world, it's a big event. What can I say? So tell us a little bit about what the Gondola Nationals is and why it's in Providence this year.
So the U.S. Gondola Nationals is an event that's held yearly. This is the 7th one that we've had. And gondoliers from across the country invade a city that has a gondola company to host. And we participate in all sorts of races, from sprints to distance to slalom events. Yep. And single and tandem. There's a 4-man event as well. And it's just a great weekend of fun and frolic.
So, I assume a lot of people associate gondola only with, the singing, nice, quiet rides down the river. Mm-hmm. So there is an actual kind of sporting side to this that people may not know about. So
it's kind of a sport anyway.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's, between watching the 100-meter dash at the Olympics and watching paint dry, I mean, we're still kind of leaning towards the Olympics, but it's not super exciting to anybody who's not in stripes. But there are a number of fans who say that they're going to come and cheer us on this weekend.
And how many rowers is it rowers per, how many rowers per gondola? Is this a one-person thing, or
so each event, the sprint, the slalom, and the distance, has a single, just a single gondolier race, a tandem with 2 gondoliers, one each holding an oar on each side of the boat, and then there's the distance event also has a 4-man competition as well.
And how many different states or countries are competing in this?
So across America, I'd say easily half, if not a majority, of the gondola companies come from California, in between San Francisco and San Diego, roughly.
Okay.
And so there are a number of companies represented in California. Oxnard, California, Newport Beach has 2 gondola companies, and Huntington Beach, California as well this year, as well as Stillwater, Minnesota. There's guys coming down from Boston, and of course Providence as well.
Okay, and this is the first year it's been hosted in Providence?
This is actually the 3rd year that we've had it in Providence.
All right,
we actually had the first one, what we called the Gondolympics, which was just a one-day fundraiser, and we decided to have races as well, just for fun.
Okay, so this started here.
Yes, it did indeed.
Oh, it was birthed in Providence. Mm-hmm. That's great. Okay, and so races, is there, any other, where can people watch? How can people engage in this weekend?
So as the weather shakes out, it looks like we're going to have the sprint races, single and tandem, and the solo distance race on Saturday. That will be outside of Crawford Street, in between Crawford Street and Point Street along South Water Street.
Okay.
And then on Sunday, the 4-person distance and the tandem distance race will also be out there. That'll be earlier in the day. And then as the wind calms down, we will be moving up to Citizens Plaza, where the gondola landing is located, for the slalom races, single and tandem.
So the winner of the U.S. Gondola Nationals in each category, what do they win?
You win medals, and that's right.
Medals and
everlasting glory.
That's about, yeah.
Medals and glory.
That's right.
Over the other gondoliers for the whole year.
Exactly.
Okay, and you guys are sort of corresponding with Waterfire as well, because there is a Waterfire on Saturday night. So
that's right.
You're doing. I think I read something about free gondola rides on Saturday evening with donation.
So it's actually, so we are rowing reservations during Waterfire as
Oh,
normal,
okay.
but during the day, on both Saturday and Sunday, there will be at least one gondola available for trips by donation. Anybody who'd like to donate to the event, we'd certainly appreciate it. And then we always, when we are hosting the Nationals, we always try and have it on a Waterfire weekend so that the guys who are visiting from other places get the opportunity to experience and or row during that event, which is obviously something they can't do anywhere else.
Yeah. So a lot of people are going to be rowing during the Waterfire. That's great.
Yes, so Waterfire captains, watch out. There's going to be a whole bunch of much less familiar with the conditions gondoliers out there on Saturday night.
Oh, good. We'll have some like backed up traffic.
Right. We pair them up with a Providence gondolier to make them feel a little bit better. They'll row with the Providence gondolier first, and then they'll get to row themselves.
Okay, so they'll have to go through like a mini training.
Right. It's a mini.
Yeah, to hear the Waterfire music, you got to get prepared.
Right.
For it.
As mini as it gets.
It's an experience. So is it like is it BYOB, like bring your own boat? Like, do they have to bring a gondola
You know,
here?
everybody seems to ask that. They do not
Well,
need to
it's a
bring their
question.
gondolas.
Well, they might have one that's like specific to their.
Right. No, we use
Their racing
the
needs.
host city's gondolas, although the
Okay.
dream for the U.S. Gondola Nationals is one day to have a fleet of boats from Venice that are standardized and be able to take them one day to perhaps any city in the country that might like to host the event in order to kind of promote Venetian-style rowing in America.
So I would say trade out the day of because he probably sabotaged your boat. So just make sure
we ought to
do a
find
last
some
minute
Sandbags at the
do a
bow.
last minute
Yeah.
switch. Do a last minute switch. So
Well,
that
we've already determined everybody in advance that my 4-year-old, our assistant office manager, was picking names out of the hat. Took us about 3 hours to do that
Okay.
yesterday. But everybody knows what boat they're going to be on and what order they're going in, thanks to Anya.
Perfect. So the last time you were on, we were chatting a little bit about like the fall upcoming events. You
Yep.
guys were doing wine tastings and ghost tours and all that. How did all of that go? Let's get a little update on everything that's been going on.
So
with
we
you.
never actually got around to do the wine tasting,
Oh,
Chelsea. I'd love to. It's something that
sorry.
we're going to plan for next year to actually get on
Put
the
my foot in my
schedule
mouth.
right in advance. The ghost tours were fantastic.
Okay.
They were run, the tour itself was run by Courtney, who is the owner of the Providence Ghost Tour. She did an amazing job researching ghost stories that are more downtown centric instead of over on the east side where they normally operate, and it was a blast. We had a wonderful time. They were very well received, very busy for pretty much the entire month of October.
Did anybody see any like ghost captains or ghost?
Not that I know of.
Boat
I have
ghosts?
been, it's probably because I was on most of the boats because I've been waiting my entire life
Okay.
to see a ghost and
Stare
have
them away.
not yet.
So you brought Rufino with you.
I did.
Rufino is, as I said, one of the competition from California. So give us a little bit about yourself, Rufino. What's your background and what brings you here to Rhode Island in the winter?
Yeah, I started gondola just as a fun one-time summer gig, and it was great. I love it. And then the competition started, and I didn't think I could love it any more than I already did. But the competition's a whole new dynamic. It's so cool getting everyone from all over the country who share this weird love for this sport to come together and, you know, yes, we row and we compete, but every time off the boat we're singing songs and just enjoying that we all get to hang out together again.
Beautiful.
Even once a year, it'd love to happen more than once a year just because it's so nice to see everyone all the time. But I'm really excited to come to Providence. This is the best rowing course I've seen
Really?
for gondola racing. So, and Waterfire, it's going to be a great time to come out and check it out.
Wow.
California, it's a lot of in the marina, a lot of boats. It's beautiful. If you're ever out there, come check us out. But you guys got a great thing going here for sure.
Great. I didn't know that we had the best course.
It's
you
a
learn
great
something
setting.
new every day.
It really is.
Well, I mean, people love kayaking and doing all sorts of stuff on the Providence River. So, I mean, why not? This is
Yeah.
probably the best course for that, too. So what is your race of choice? What do you like to...
I prefer the distance races.
Specializes in the distance
Yeah,
Ah.
the distance races,
Okay.
team or single, anything that's the long distance endurance race because it's so meditative out there on the water. I like the hard work of it during the races, but even rowing for all day, if it's just cruises for guests, is just such a blast to be out on the water. It's beautiful every day. The people are always in a good mood no matter where you are. So the distance races, that's my favorite for sure.
He's modest, but you happen to be in the presence of greatness. He's the reigning national solo and tandem champion, right? Yeah, with his partner.
A couple golds to defend. Not a champ
that's
until
right.
you defend them. So
Not a champ until you defend them. I like
right.
that. And now when you say distance, how long are we talking?
So we're going to be doing, the distance course will be 2 laps from Crawford to Point Street and back. It'll be about 2.4 miles.
Okay.
We were going to lengthen that for the tandem distance and the 4-person distance, but I think we're going to keep them all 2 laps because the weather is going to be interesting out there for this. A very breezy forecast for the weekend.
So blown away. Is there enough? And now there's enough room lengthwise to fit.
Well, there's plenty of room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm learning so many things. This is incredible. The 2018 U.S. Gondola Nationals this weekend. What are the times of everything? Let's talk about the schedule.
We'll be meeting at Citizens Plaza each day around 10 o'clock in the morning, probably starting racing around 10:30 or 11 each day, and racing will go until about sunset, about 4:30 each day.
Okay, and people can come out, watch you guys from the basin, or where's the best vantage point?
Best vantage point for Saturday would be along South Water Street or Crawford Street Bridge, and for Sunday, late morning to early afternoon, also out there, and then later in the afternoon up to Citizens Plaza during that block for the slalom races.
Okay, so we hope everybody goes out and roots for Rhode Island or their favorite team. Could be, or California.
Yeah, you can check the.
Wear your shorts and sunglasses and head out and root for California.
Check the La Gondola Facebook page, La Gondola Providence, for updates on where we're going to be and when.
And so after the Gondola Nationals, is there anything else you guys have on the horizon until we get to spring?
It's the last day of the season, Saturday night, and the boats will be coming out over the course of next week.
So what do you do all winter?
I used to teach, and I left teaching 9 years ago, but now I spend a lot of time on dad duty. I've got 2 little daughters, a 4-year-old and a 17-month-old.
Perfect.
And I have to do the maintenance on the boats, so that'll definitely keep me busy.
After
give certificates for the holidays.
Yeah.
That's right. Give certificates for the holidays. You know, Thanksgiving and Christmas, the office is pretty busy. People order gift certificates.
Yeah, that's good to know. People can buy gift certificates. So there we go. That's a good piece of information. So we hope everybody goes out this weekend. Hopefully it's not too breezy and the weather stays a little bit mild. You know, it's not 20 degrees yet, so no excuses. Go out and get a donation ride with these awesome gondoliers, watch the races, and then hit up the Veterans Water Fire this weekend on Saturday night. We hope everybody gets out of their house and has a great time. So thank you for joining us this Thursday. Thank you guys for coming on the show.
Thank you very much,
Marcello
Chelsea.
and Rufino, we appreciate it. Marcello, I'm sure you'll be on in the spring.
I sure hope so.
To talk about the kickoff and, you know, maybe next year's, where is next year's Nationals?
Next year's is probably going to be held by Newport Beach.
Okay, so I'll go
California.
cover that. I'll go cover
That's
that
it.
live.
Chelsea on location out in California.
I will cover that one live. That'll be perfect. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to what is happening in Rhode Island. We'll be back next week, Thursday at 4 p.m. to talk a little bit more about upcoming events, exciting companies, and we're just featuring everything great about Rhode Island on this show. And in the meantime, check us out on Facebook or our website to get more information. We look forward to seeing you next week. Tune in then.